From Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan, it's USPBL baseball. Tonight, the Utica Unicorns take on the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Hi, everybody. I'm Dan York along with Carol Wolfbauer as we bring you this Saturday night game here on a beautiful Saturday night, a beautiful sunny Saturday night here in Utica. We had a great ceremony pregame before folks were allowed in, a naval retirement ceremony that went on.
Yes, some of those guys and gals will be joining us later on. They'll be our hometown heroes tonight. So really excited to have them out here for their own ceremony and excited to have them out on our field tonight.
And it is also softball night here at Jimmy John's Field. Did you see Kara? She used to be a Division I player with the University of Detroit Mercy. We'll talk to her about that a little bit during the game, but let's talk about tonight's game. Two teams that come in both on losing streaks. Third place and fourth place respectively. So what do you think we have tonight?
Well, tonight I think talking about the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers and the Utica Unicorns. The Utica Unicorns have 3 games this weekend, all right in a row. So I think that's going to be tough for them coming out of their bullpen this week, especially yesterday after the loss against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Used a few guys out of their bullpen. Andrew Huffman came out, had a bit of a tough going, so hopefully they can pick it back up this week against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers tonight.
So the Beavers and the Unicorns both lost to the Woolly Mammoths on Thursday and Friday, so they have that in common, and both teams kind of trying to get back into the race a little bit as they start to fade in the standings.
Yeah, especially the Westside Woolly Mammoths have been hot as of late. They're doing a fantastic job of balancing out their lineup, different from some teams, example, like the Utica Unicorns. Very top-heavy lineup. Their top 4 guys are leading their team in batting average right now, and somewhere in the middle there, you start to find guys batting around somewhere mid-100s, but then they round it at the bottom with Donovan Curiel, kind of like a second leadoff, batting in the mid-200s. But they have Philip Machulia, a new guy that came with us yesterday, went 2 for 4 last night, massive triple, driving in 3 runs and a single. So hopefully he can start to get them running a bit more on the offensive side.
And the story so far this season has been that the Unicorns can pitch and that the Beavers can hit, and the Beavers are led by Chris Davis, one of the captains of the All-Star team.
Yes, Chris Davis has been quite a catalyst for the Beavers so far this year. I talked to him last week. He was one of our players of the game, naturally, as he is, as often as possible. He was telling me that he does feel like in a captain stance, he really holds himself to a higher standard in that position to get that first hit, get it underneath his belt, and get his guys going throughout the game.
And Davis is the leader in total bases for the USPBL and a number of other offensive categories, along with Malik Bolin, who is a leader in some offensive categories also in the USPBL.
Yes, and Chris Davis also is tied with Josh Baker on the Unicorns for home runs. Only 4 home runs this year is our leading home run number. Last year, Ari Sakopoulos was leading our league with lots of home runs, I believe 15 at one point. So a little bit different this year on the offensive side, but we have Chris Davis, who's been a fantastic bat for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers and just getting on base. And especially as a leadoff guy, that's exactly what you need, a guy who gets on base. And also he's fantastic on the bases, very aggressive, so he gets moving up the base path and all they have to do is execute that run.
Greg Lokinen starting tonight. First time back with the USPBL in a couple of months.
Yes, was with the Westside Woolly Mammoths last year, was Pitcher of the Year back in 2021. Yes, and they're really excited to have him back. He did move on to a different league last year and left for a while, but they always come right back to us. Really excited to have him back here, but he's a Beaver now this year.
Correct, and he just has a couple of innings or 1 inning under his belt so far. Let's talk about the Unicorns, and again, they have the 3rd leading hitter in Aberrett, but mostly it's pitching.
Yes, but even Felix Aberrett, like you had mentioned, last year was our championship MVP, had 3 home runs last year in our championship game. But yes, pitching for the Unicorns. Tristan Harvin, probably in the running for Pitcher of the Year this year, doing quite a fantastic job, and really excited to see him out there on the mountain, especially Jacob Harsany, who was their starter last night, went 5 innings last Thursday, giving up no hits. So they've been doing pretty well, but it's all about finding that consistency, and hopefully Harvin can find that tonight.
For Harvin, he has 5 wins, which leads the USPBL, and also with the 2.76 ERA, so that is number 2 in the USPBL, so that is a solid season for him.
Yes, he's had a solid defense behind him as well. Donovan Curiel, I believe, has some of the best footwork in the league. I think he's very underrated as a shortstop. Maybe I don't think he's always as quick off the bat, but he's so smooth. So Harvin's got some great defense behind him and a lot of guys who just handle themselves to a higher standard. So really excited to see how they do.
And this entire league is pretty solid defensively.
Yes, for sure. Especially the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers have Diesel. Diesel is the manager for John Dombrowski, and he literally has what he calls the diesel defender. So they're always set doing their different defensive drills before the game. So, and he helps everyone throughout the league. At the USPBL, yes, we have 4 different teams, but they're always trying to help every guy advance to the next level. So Diesel trains a lot of guys throughout the league, so our defense is always pretty sound.
And Andrew Huffman with 40 strikeouts for the Unicorns, an impressive season for him.
Yes, he struggled a bit last night on the mound with command. Kept falling off the mound a bit, I think, overthrowing. Really trying to toss it in there. I believe he came in the 5th inning for the Unicorns. They were already struggling, so he was trying to play some catch up with them. But you know what? We'll see what what we have for them tonight.
All right, we're headed into the home stretch. Just a little over a month remaining in the season before we crown our champions. So from Jimmy John's Field, it's USPBL baseball on a Saturday night. It's the Beavers and the Unicorns. We'll have more after this.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
And welcome back to Jimmy John's Field here in Utica, Michigan for our Saturday night game between the Utica Unicorns and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Dan York along with Kara Wolfbauer as they have just gotten the ceremonial first pitches out of the way. And we mentioned that special ceremony prior to the game for the retired members of our Navy, and they were one of the groups that throw out the first pitch. Let's take a look at our sponsors for tonight's broadcast, including Ascension, Belfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, Dave and Buster's, DTE, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, McQuaid Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Refrigeration. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Pepsi. Scott's. And UWM United Wholesale Mortgage. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game. First for the visiting Utica Unicorns, managed by Jim Essian. Leading off and playing first base, number 8, Lucas Gooden. Batting second and playing center field, number 22, Nick Pastor. Hitting third and catching, number 35, Felix Aberrett. Batting cleanup, the DH, number 15, Josh Baker. Hitting fifth and playing third base, number 13, Jared Weber. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Philip Matulia. We mentioned he is brand new, went 2 for 4 last night. Batting seventh, the left fielder, number 20, Angel Diaz. Hitting eighth and playing shortstop, number 3, Patrick Baggett. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 2, Donovan Curiel. And on the bump with a 5-2 record, Tristan Harvin for the Unicorns. Now let's take a look at the Beavers in fourth place in the USPBL with that 14-7 mark, managed by John Dombrowski. Leading off and playing center field, number 8, Chris Davis. Batting second, the left fielder, number 2, Rudy Ramirez. Hitting third and playing first base, number 23, J.D. Stubbs. Batting cleanup, the DH, number 24, Malik Bolin. Hitting fifth and playing right field, number 10, Ray Hilbrich. Batting sixth and playing third base, number 26, Christian Ortega. Hitting seventh and catching, number 12, Luke Stevenson. Batting 8th and playing second base, number 21, Marcus Judd. And batting 9th and playing shortstop, number 5, Ben Wilcoxon. And on the bump, it'll be Greg Luukkonen, not Jacob Harsany as it says on your screen. Luukkonen added to the team just recently. He's only pitched 1 inning, has 2 strikeouts in that 1 inning. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with the first inning of baseball of the USPBL Saturday night from Utica.
Jimmy John's Field is the perfect venue for birthday parties, summer picnics, company outings, and provides the best entertainment in Metro Detroit with great baseball all summer long. Spend your summer nights under the lights at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward, not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
At Ascension, Michigan, we're committed to being your first choice for healthcare. Our nationally recognized heart program is the leader throughout Michigan in minimally invasive heart valve procedures. For joint replacement, spine, and cancer care, patients choose our specialists for advanced care and treatment. And we also excel in the things that can't be measured. Listening more closely, caring more compassionately.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Let's take a look at the weather tonight on a Saturday night in Metro Detroit. It is absolutely spectacular. Temperature is 76 degrees. Our winds are out of the west, although they seem to be flopping around a little bit. Humidity 51% and cloudy or hazy, really more the smokiness of the wildfires over top of us here today at Jimmy John's Field. Let's take a look at both of our pitchers for tonight. As we mentioned, Greg Luukkonen just back to to the USPBL. He was Pitcher of the Year in 2021, so not many stats for him, an inning pitched and 2 strikeouts. For Tristan Harvin, he leads the league with 5 wins, a solid ERA at 2.76, 45 2/3 innings pitched with 45 hits and 35 strikeouts and 15 walks, so a very good strikeout to walk ratio for Tristan Harvin. Let's take a look at the starting defense for the Beavers as they'll be in the field to begin the game. They're the home team. In the outfield, it's Rudy Ramirez, Chris Davis, and Ray Hilbrick. In the infield, Ortega at third, Wilcoxon at short, Judd at second, Stubbs at first, Stevenson behind the plate, and Luukkonen on the mound. And Luukkonen comes with a fastball, changeup, and a knuckle curve. So that should be fun to see if he throws that a little bit here tonight. It's always a adventure for the catcher when you have a curveball pitcher, or a knuckleball pitcher rather. So we'll see how Stevenson does handling the knuckle curve tonight from Luukkonen. Should have a nice crowd tonight on a Saturday night. Again, one of the cooler nights we've had here in quite some time. A great ceremony pregame actually before the gates opened, where they had that naval retirement ceremony. It's also, as we said, softball night here tonight, and Kara doing double duty. She'll be on the field for part of the game, so when she's up here, we'll talk to her about her time at the University of Detroit Mercy, where she was a Division I softball player. She threw out the first pitch at last night's game. So it'll be Gooden, Pastor, and Aberrett. 1, 2, and 3 for the Unicorns as we start this one off here at Jimmy John's Field in Utica. Thanks for joining us. Outfield absolutely straight up, infield back. Goes with a fastball to start this one off. Gooden batting .264 coming into this one. A .417 slugging percentage, but an .840 OPS as he gets the outside corner on that one on the fastball. 88 miles an hour. Goes to a curveball. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on Gooden, the left-hander. Fouls it off down the third base line. And will go off of the net and bounce into one of the picnic areas down the line. Those are both filled up, as is the Chevy Pavilion here tonight. So lots of folks in our specialty seating for this Saturday night game. 7 o'clock start. Single game tonight. We've been playing a lot of doubleheaders until now, but it's single games for the month of August for sure. There you see our nice group of people. Here's an inside-out swing. Easy play for Ramirez, and there's 1 up and 1 away. Gooden took it the opposite way. And that'll bring up Nick Pastor. Pastor batting .301 on the season. So a good season for Pastor. He was 1 for 2 on Friday night as he takes the ball in the outside corner. Had an RBI. Check that, had a run scored in the Unicorns' loss to the Woolly Mammoths last night. There's a strike on the outside corner. Luukkonen mostly showing fastball so far early on. Took a little off that one and gets strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch. Fouled off down the third base line. Aberrett on deck. Just underway here at Jimmy John's Field. Afternoon game here tomorrow. from the windup. Just got a piece of that and fouled it away. Again, we've talked about it that Utica has struggled at the plate all season. That one is fouled off at home plate. Not getting much from the bottom of the order. They're hoping Matulia will change that in the 6th spot here tonight. One-two pitch. Ground ball. This is going to be tough. Shortstop. Needs a hard throw. Did not get him. Wilcoxon, it was a slow ground ball. For a second, I thought Ortega would cut it off, but he didn't. And Wilcoxon's throw is late, so it's an infield single for Pastor. That'll bring up Aberrett. And for a catcher, pretty impressive stats. A .361 batting average and a .945 OPS. He had a hit last night against the Woolly Mammoths. Luganen goes to the stretch. Fouled off right into the net in front of us. The net here goes from dugout to dugout. The dugouts are fairly deep. As you see, a swing and a miss. They're fairly far down the line here at Jimmy John's Field. So a quick 0-2 count on Aberrett. Josh Baker with 4 home runs on deck. Right-hander hits a ground ball, foul ball just down the third base line. Just out of the reach of Ortega, but definitely foul. And Lokinen looking for his first strikeout of the game. Still has an 0-2 count. There you see our netting. It's pretty tall and goes down to the dugouts. From the stretch, Lokinen comes to the plate. Another foul ball. This one goes over the netting. Center fielder Davis shaded towards left. Right fielder shaded a little bit towards center. Left fielder straight up. Infield and double play depth. This one's popped up in the infield. Wilcoxon has a beat on it, and there's 2 away. And that'll bring up Baker. Pastor still at first base. Baker batting .250, but with 4 dingers and 14 RBIs. Just under 800 OPS. There's a swing and a miss on the curveball. Quick throw down to first base, but back in time is Pastor. Shortstop and second baseman at the edge of the grass. Left-handed batter Baker, the designated hitter. Tries to hold up, he did not. Went around, so an 0-2 count now on Baker. Pastor at first base with a single. Here's a pitch. Outside. 1-2. Nice crowd on the hill tonight also. Swing and a miss at a high fastball, and he gets his first strikeout, Lukanen does, And they leave a runner at first base, so no runs in the inning. And a hit, one runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the first inning. No score. Let's check in with Kara on the field.
We're in section 101 with Kathy. Kathy, give everyone a big wave. Everyone wave to my new friend Kathy. So Kathy is our sweetheart of the game today. JJ, our field general, sponsored by Michigan First Credit Union, got up at the absolute crack of dawn to head to our friends at Thrifty Florist, where he picked up this beautiful bouquet of flowers. So he went all around the stands there trying to figure out who is deserving of my bouquet of flowers, saying he chose Kathy. So Kathy, congratulations on being our sweetheart of the game, and you guys will see JJ picking up some bats later. You guys will see me in a little bit, but for now, we'll send on up to Kevin.
So hopefully Kara will be back here in the press box with me in a couple of moments to add some of her expertise to the rest of this contest. All right, let's take a look at the defense for the home team. Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. In left field, it's Diaz. In center field, it's Pastor. Betulia is in right. Weber at third, Baggett at short, Curiel at second, Gooden at first, Aberrett behind the plate, and Tristan Harvin on the mound for the Utica Unicorns. Utica comes into this one in third place in the USPBL after dropping a couple of games in a row. Willie Mammoth's in first place. 4.5 games between them and the team in the basement, the Beavers. So a separation starting to develop between teams. Jim Essian's team has lost 3 games in a row after that loss last night to the Woolly Mammoths. So it'll be Davis, Ramirez, and Stubbs, the 1, 2, and 3 hitters, starting things off for the Beavers, who are 14 and 18 on the season, and hoping to advance in the standings here tonight. Kara's back with us now after giving away some flowers.
Yes, so happy to be here, Dan. Found Kathy today. She was an absolute fantastic sweetheart of the game. JJ always does a great job of picking our contestants.
Where's my flowers?
Dan, I don't have any flowers for you.
Oh, man.
Thrifty Florist did not choose you, and JJ certainly did not either.
So the batter is Davis. He's ahead with a 1-0 count. Davis batting .342 with 5 home runs and 21 RBIs. That's good enough for second in the league. The 5 home runs leads the league. And Davis ahead with a 2-0 count. Rips one into the outfield. This one will be extra bases. Makes it to the warning track. Davis comes around first, headed for second. He'll have a stand-up double, and Chris Davis starts things off with a double here in the bottom of the first inning, and that'll bring up Ramirez.
Chris Davis has certainly been having a year with the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. A little bit of a struggle for him last year, but it's come back from an injury and just trying to get back into the swing of things. I think as well it's finding that confidence, and he's definitely found it here with the Beavers tonight.
Yeah, he's 5th in the league in batting average. He's 2nd in runs scored. I mean, he's 1st in total bases. You can just go on and on and on and on. He is all over the leaderboard for the USPBL. And that'll bring up Rudy Ramirez.
Like I said before, Chris Davis is definitely a catalyst for the Beavers. When he gets on base first, it's just bound for the Beavers to hopefully have a good day.
So a runner on second base, nobody out, just underway here in the bottom of the first inning. That one catches the outside corner. Perfect night for baseball.
It's beautiful out because 2023 has been a bit of a rough year with some tough weather this year, Dan. So a lot of rain, but not as of late. I don't want to jinx it, so no rain tonight.
I don't
please.
think any rain tonight. This one's off the fist. Center fielder coming in, shortstop going out, and it drops in for a base hit. But the runner unable to advance. So Ramirez with a single. Davis had to stay at second base, so there's 2 on and nobody out, and that'll bring up J.D. Stubbs. Stubbs with 6 doubles this season. 19 walks, and he is 4th in RBIs with 17, and a chance to pick up a couple here.
Yes, J.D. Stubbs was with the USPBL last year, also a Birmingham Bloomfield Beaver, so one of their championship guys.
He looks at one on the inside corner that catches for a strike. 0-1. Bolin on deck, the designated hitter. Check this swing. They're going to appeal to the infield umpire, who's not in a great position since we only have 2 umpires, but he says he did not swing. There's one right down Main Street. So I mentioned it during the pregame. Since it is softball night, you
Yes,
had
it is, certainly.
a career yourself at the University of Detroit Mercy playing softball.
Yes, I absolutely loved my time there. I just graduated, so really excited to be back here. I'm excited that Jimmy John's is doing a softball night this year. I don't think they've ever done it before, so it's nice to see a bunch of softball girls out here. Especially seeing the travel teams. I remember being 12 and having those travel weekends, constantly moving around, just hoping to get recruited and go to college somewhere.
There you go, and you did.
It worked out, so it's nice to see those girls having that same passion I did when I was younger.
It's tough. I do Eastern baseball, and with U of D and the Horizon League, it is just really tough for any Division I baseball or softball player in the spring because the weather is just so bad for the first part of the season.
We've had some extremely cold days. Last year we were at IUPUI where it feels like 28 degrees. And we broke about 3 bats that day. It was not our best
And these are not wood bats.
No, they're not. They're composite bats in softball.
Swing and a miss by Stubbs, so he's unable to advance the runners, and that'll bring up Bolin, the designated hitter, who's 2nd in the league with 21 RBIs.
No matter how cold those days were, Dan, I'd head back in a second, honestly. At least for one more game. But I was telling, there were some girls in the stands earlier, and their dad had stopped me and saw I had a jersey on. He said, "What's your biggest piece of advice for my girls?" I said, "Oh, you know, softball dads, you know how they all are. I've seen them everywhere." And I just said, "Ooh, may look
All right, there's a base hit. Let's see if this can score the run. No, they'll just have to go a base at a time. Almost got Ramirez at second base. So Davis advances to 3rd. Ramirez the 2nd. Bolin's on 1st, 1 away. And that'll bring up Ray Hilbrich. So it's dinked to death this inning as they load it up with a double and 2 singles.
But I had mentioned to the dad that the biggest thing, I think, for the girls, and that I hope parents notice too, is that you are an individual person outside of your sport. And I think that's really important for every sport people are playing. It's just something, it took me a long time to learn as an athlete.
So now I work in a high school too, and one of the things they always try to reinforce is play multiple sports.
Yes, I was a 3-sport athlete in high school.
Don't just play softball and play travel and play winter ball somehow. They encourage you from a physiology standpoint. As you see this one hit into left center field. Both outfielders on their horse. Davis will score. Ramirez will score. Bolin will end up at 3rd base, and it's a 2-0 lead now for the Beavers.
And this just proves from the Beavers that it's not always about big hits to keep getting your guys in. They kept working little base hits at a time, and now they got 2 runs in on the 1st inning.
So 2 RBIs for Hilbridge, scoring Davis and Ramirez. Bolin advances to 3rd base, and that'll bring up Christian Ortega. Ortega with a couple of RBIs. But yeah, it's really important, especially as kids are developing, to not just do one thing. The constant repetitive nature of just playing volleyball or just playing softball or basketball, just see that one hit down the line and that'll be fouled down the 1st base line. That's not necessarily in the best interest of the athlete.
I completely agree. I've had some coaches before that thought players needed to focus on one sport, but then I've also had some coaches who were very appreciative that and understanding that I had multiple sports to play, because honestly, all through high school, I rarely ever got injured. I think it's because I was playing so many different sports, using different muscles, and never just singling out different parts of my body. You know, I was always played basketball, volleyball, and softball. using different mechanics all the time, and it kept me healthy. The time I got hurt was when I went to college and only played softball. I got hurt every year. So if that's not putting the proof in the pudding.
So an 0-2 count on Ortega. He grounds one through the middle for a base hit. That's going to score 2. Bolin scores. No, he'll have to hold Hilbrich at third base, and a wise choice because the throw got in pretty quick.
Catcher number 12.
So Bolin scores an RBI single for Ortega. And a 3-0 lead now for the Beavers.
But it looks like we'll already see assistant manager Nick Caruso walk into the mound to try and calm the guys down. This is unusual for Tristan Harvin. He's been performing exceptionally well, especially right in that first inning. Usually been a shutdown inning for him with the Utica Unicorns. So not on par today for Tristan Harvin, but it's only in the first inning. We've got more to come back from tonight.
Well, and only a couple of the balls were hit hard.
Yes.
You know, the one between the second, or the shortstop rather, and the center fielder was a little dink. And then the ground ball single by Ortega didn't get much on it, but he got it through the infield. Enough to score the runner. That'll bring up the catcher, Luke Stevenson.
You're correct. Just popping right in the right spot. Sometimes that's all that matters. Just placing the ball in the right holes. Like I said, they just kept moving around the bases until they could score them home.
We got runners at the corners, as you see a curveball miss. Stevenson only batting 159 coming into this one. But he does have 9 RBIs and a chance for number 10 at third. He looks at that one up high. 2-0 on Stevenson. Marcus Judd on deck for the Beavers. Infield and double play depth. Gooden holding the runner at first. That one misses outside with a fastball. So 3-0 count on Stevenson. And if you're Harvin, you've got to go after a guy batting 159.
But also, we talked about this a lot yesterday on our broadcast. We saw it happen explicitly like this yesterday. 3-0 count, pitcher left it hanging up there. Shot right over the second baseman's head.
There's a swing and a miss, so he gets a strike there.
I think I jinxed him. Announcer jinx.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. I think that was a curveball. So Harvin has worked a full count on Stevenson. Quick throw to first base and back in time is Ortega. Harvin looking for a double play ball here. Up high, he walked him. So that's his first walk of the game, but he walks the bases loaded. And that'll bring up Judd.
Number 21, Marcus Judd.
So 3 runs in so far and 3 runners on now for the Beavers as Harvin struggles through this first inning. Judd batting only 191, but he does have 13 RBIs.
Juddy joined us on the broadcast last night. He was our color guy, and I have to say he did absolutely fantastic. I told him he's going to make a great coach one day, but he said he knew his dad was going to watch this and say, "You give all this great advice. Why aren't you doing it yourself?" Which was always my problem. I had so much great advice, but I had a hard time applying it. But that's all about the sport itself. It's a game of failure, like Juddy and I talked about a lot yesterday.
Judd puts a charge into that one. And 5'5", Marcus Judd with a grand slam.
I cannot wait to have him on the broadcast and talk about that one sometime. Papa Judd, I hope you're out there. Shout out Papa Judd. Oh, Marcus Judd, just fantastic guy, and really excited to see him out there performing tonight with his boys.
He clears the bases with that one. Estimated distance 354 feet for Marcus Judd, and a grand slam. And the Beavers have broken this game open here in the first, and I think Travis Harvin is coming out of this game. There you see the landing spot for the grand slam, and Harvin, Jim Essien rather, is going to have to go to the bullpen. You don't see this often in the first inning.
Looks like Nick Galatis is coming to take the mound.
So we will tell you a little bit about Nick Galatis, and the Unicorns are going to try to still get out of this first inning. It's a 7-0 lead for the Beavers. We'll have more after this.
How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood
and reset our life around zapping stuff and cheering for stuff with your friends. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
Nick Galatis into the game now for the Utica Unicorns, as they have to go to the bullpen pretty early in this one. Kind of a rugged start for the Unicorns and for Harvin. And that'll bring in Nick Galatis with a 5.40 ERA, an 0-2 record. 10 innings pitched, so it's Galatis now that will try to get out of this as he faces the number 9 hitter, Will Coxon, and he almost hit him. Ball 1.
Having to pull someone from the bullpen this early is definitely going to be a bit of a struggle for the Unicorns this weekend. Like I said, they have 3 games in a row, so definitely trying to use your bullpen sparingly, but already had to turn to it tonight.
So back in the Stone Age when I was
Stone Age
when I grew up. Sparky Anderson, something like this happens, he would put the guy in the next day.
Oh.
He would just, you didn't give me anything yesterday, work it out, and try to give me a couple of innings tomorrow, because we're going to need you. So, and Galatis hits the outside corner with a strike.
The only thing I wonder now is if I know there's some regulations on how many pitches can be thrown, if depending they can go in and throw the next day, depending on how many they're heading into the next day.
Gotcha. Well, there's a walk, so it continues for the Beavers, and we've batted around, and that'll bring up Davis, who doubled and scored. Everybody but Will Coxon has scored. There's only 1 out still, the strikeout of Stubbs. And there's a called strike.
Yes, and the Beavers, like you said, will bat around now. Chris Davis coming back up to the top, and Ben Wilcoxon does a great job of being the 9th batter and being like a second leadoff and getting himself on base.
That one misses. Galatis with a 4-seam and 2-seam fastball, changeup slider, and a curveball. $7-0 lead early on. There's a off-speed pitch that Galatis wanted and didn't get. According to our pitch tracker, that caught the bottom of the strike zone. That one misses outside. And Galatis digging himself a hole now with a 3-1 count on Davis. And he misses inside, so Davis has been on base 2 times this inning.
Yes, Nick Galatis struggling to find the zone right now.
So that'll bring up Rudy Ramirez. I imagine Galatis didn't get a whole lot of time to warm up. I didn't even bother to look
Probably
down in the bullpen to see if anybody was warming up.
Probably thrown him off guard as well. Even if he was ready and felt warmed up enough, you're just not expecting to head in the first inning for your team.
This one's fouled off. Yeah, essentially you're the starter now. You just come in with a 7-0
say a starter
deficit.
per se, if that's what you want to call it,
yeah,
Dan.
well,
I don't know if Nick Gladys wants to call it that.
He came in with an empty slate, as you see the swing and a miss. Came in with the bases empty and 1 out, so his job is to get as many outs as he can and chew up some innings. Inside. Runners on first and second. Here's one hit into the outfield. It may drop. It does not. The center fielder Pastor there to make the play, and there's 2 outs.
Pastor does a great job getting that good read on the ball. I'd mentioned yesterday he had a couple of mishaps a couple of games ago, but it happens. We were talking about sometimes you get the yips out there. You get anxious, you miss one ball, and all of a sudden you're wondering, do I know how to play this game? And you start questioning yourself, but glad to see him back out there looking just like he usually does.
No, I don't want to put any pressure on Stubbs, but he's the only guy that hasn't been on base on his team yet.
Sounds like
and
some
he looks
pressure to
at
me.
One inside. Stubbs struck out for the first out of the game, or first out of the bottom of the first. Looks at that one in the dirt, spits on it. So there's a 2-0 count on Stubbs. Runner at second is Wilcoxon. The runner at first is Davis. This is Ramirez's, or Stubbs' second at bat, and he hits a ground ball to the second baseman. Curiel over to first, and the side is retired, but not before the Birmingham Beavers come up with 7 runs in the first inning. We head to second inning action here at Jimmy John's Field. It's 7-0 on the USPBL Baseball Network.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
With a transforming world, we can see how drastically the world is heading towards automation. And so, we need 24/7 surveillance and security systems for our homes and businesses to avoid any theft or breach of privacy. JARBCOM brings the installation of security cameras to the tip of your fingers with our state-of-the-art mobile app. JARBCOM also provides surveillance monitoring of your entire property with flexible options that offer a dependable solution to be scaled to fit any domestic or commercial need. Contact JARBCOM today for a free estimate at 800-369-0374 or look us up on the web at jarbcom.com.
When it's time for baseball, it's time for beer. Two Hearted Ale has been named the #1 beer in America for the past 4 years by members of the American Home Brewers Association. Play ball with the best. Two Hearted Ale, the iconic American IPA from Bell's Brewery, Comstock, Michigan. Please drink responsibly. We head to the second inning as our recently retired members of the United States Navy are recognized again for their service and contribution to the defense of our country, and we thank them for everything they have done, and we welcome them and their families here to Jimmy John's Field here tonight.
Yes, and like we had said, they did end up doing a retirement ceremony for them right before this game so that they could be honored tonight right here during the ball game.
Their families are all here with them, and we had the opportunity to see a lot of that ceremony. It was a fairly lengthy but filled with tradition ceremony.
Yes, I see Skip Johnson shaking all their hands and our umpires tonight.
So it'll be Weber, Matulia, and Diaz. 5, 6, and 7 for the Unicorns, and they've got a little work to do here as they trail 7-0 in the second inning. Harvin with a rough outing. Responsible for all 7 runs. Galatas came in, walked a couple, but managed to get out of the inning. And a 7-0 deficit now for the Unicorns.
Leading off the top of the second inning for the Utica Unicorns. Third baseman number 13.
This is a great little cushion for Greg Luukkonen tonight, who is making his debut of the season today. So definitely probably help him out a bit that he doesn't have to worry too much with this 7-run cushion.
Yeah, absolutely. He can just kind of settle in and throw strikes. Weber batting .241 on the season, and he misses outside with that one. And Luukkonen has moved around to some other independent baseball leagues, but back here now in the USPBL, and this one is ripped into the outfield, foul. Nice shot by Weber, but about 2 feet foul.
It's a dangerous zone over there. That's triple area zone.
Yes, it is. Just missed with that one. So a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Weber. Swings and misses, 2-2. Luukkonen, the right-hander. We said he was pitcher of the year in 2021 in the USPBL. He puts that one in the dirt.
Yes, and he was with the Mammoths last season as well. Left about midway through, and glad to see him back here with us once again. But now a Beaver.
Misses up high. That's his first walk of the game. Weber gets on, and that'll bring up Matulia. And you know John Dombrowski has got to be thinking at this point, we got a 7-run lead, throw strikes.
At this point, just like you said, put it in there. Let your defense back you up and make a play for you. It's not like you said, 7-run cushion. You don't really want walks right now or ever, but especially right now when you just let the guys put the ball in play and let your defense do the work for you.
Right, you don't want them to pick the corners right now. So from the stretch, Luukkonen comes to the plate. Check swing by, now is it Matulia? Matulia, okay. Again, brand new to the league and to the Unicorns. 2 for 4 last night with 3 RBIs.
I believe it's actually Machulia, so check that from me. My bad.
Machulia.
Yes, Machulia. Philip Machulia.
Here's a ground ball to the first baseman. He'll go to second base, not get anybody. Nobody's out on that play. So the shortstop was off the bag, but I think the runner had beat him anyways. And Machulia now safe on a fielder's choice.
Yes, Philip Machulia been doing especially well considering yesterday was his first game. Massive triple to clear the bases. Unfortunately, the Unicorns did not come out on top last night, but if they were to, he would have been my selection for player of the game, in my opinion. His professional debut, they made sure to get him his first ball, his first hit here out with us, so
nice.
Especially since he just came from college, just graduated, so really excited to see him out here now and performing well.
Well, he's on base again. That'll bring up Diaz. NL Diaz batting .200 with 2 runners on. And a hard strike there at 88 miles an hour from Luukkonen. Infield in double play depth. First baseman Stubbs not holding the runner. There's an off-speed pitch for a strike. That one's in the dirt. Runners will not advance. Although Machulia thought Weber was going, and he got about halfway to second base before he had to retreat and go back.
I think it's good Weber stayed. It looked like the way the ball had fallen that he was actually leading Luke Stevenson over to third base to make the throw, but also 7-run cushion, but I think he made the right choice staying back today.
Inside out swing. That'll drop near the Jimmy John's logo. Field in great shape. Had enough rain to keep it green all season long. No rain here tonight.
Finally.
Game tomorrow here at Jimmy John's Field. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Diaz. That one's in the dirt again, and again, this is the last thing John Dombrowski wants to see. Looking at had a pretty easy first inning.
Yes, Unicorns starting to bite back, so hopefully they can chip away, get back on the board.
Fastball misses on the outside corner, so a full count on Diaz. Bag it on deck. Swing and a miss and a strikeout of Diaz, the second strikeout of the game for Lokinen, and that'll bring up Baggett.
So Beavers record their first out of the inning. We've had some long innings here, especially recently at the USPBL. We've had to enact our 2.5-hour rule twice now in the last week, which is very rare, something we don't typically run into, especially now that the pitch clock has come into play.
Sure. Same rules here for the pitch clock than Major League Baseball. Batter is supposed to be attentive by 8 seconds, and the pitcher is supposed to release by 2, and that one misses on the inside.
Also the disengagement rule, only 2 disengagements. If you step off the 3rd time, you have to be able to get the batter out, or else it's a balk. And it's the first time yesterday I saw it here in the league. Jacob Harsney tried to pick off, don't exactly remember who, one of the woolly mammoths twice, and then decided to call time, considered their disengagement.
Oh, not because he tried to throw.
No, but so it was considered a
That's their disengagement.
So then runner advanced on a balk.
Interesting.
First one I'd seen here, though, in the USPBL.
That one's in the dirt inside, and Lokinen just not with his best stuff right now.
Hopefully they can get out of this inning soon so Lokinen could head back to the dugout, start to gather himself again. But the Beavers don't have too much of a heavy weekend tonight. I mean, this
is it
week.
for them?
So I believe they have one more game this week, but it's nothing like the Unicorns had coming up on their end.
There's inside out swing into right field for a base hit. Runner turns the bag at third, but he will hold. So here we go. Bases loaded. Baggett with a single. Weber moves to third. Machulia moves to second base, and that'll bring up Curiel batting .227. No action in the Beavers bullpen.
The Beavers are done for the weekend after this.
Okay.
Excuse me. So hopefully they'll just get out of this and be able to hold on with Greg Lokinen, but they should be able to turn to their bullpen with not too much of a concern.
This one's hit into the outfield. Center fielder coming in after it. Davis makes the call, or makes the play rather. Throws it home in shallow center field. The runner cannot advance, and there's 2 out.
Great jump on that from Chris Davis. As usual, like we've seen him and Burl Dixon, very different size, very different looking guys, but have a very similar play style out there in the way that they cut on balls. They do a fantastic job right off the bat.
Davis plays a little more shallow than Dixon does. I said it the other way around, sorry.
Burl
Dixon
plays a little more.
Yeah,
well,
Dixon plays a little more shallow.
Burl has more reach than Chris Davis and
Right.
seems to have a better jump back, but Chris Davis has a great jump in towards shallow balls. I always wanted to play deeper than more shallow too. As an outfielder, I was a center fielder. Just I felt I always had a better beat on balls running in, and I could dive forward with it.
I think that's anybody. I mean, it's easier to break in than go back, but guys
Certainly.
with really good speed like to challenge like to challenge hitters, as you see that one on the outside corner. Riley Green with the Tigers plays fairly shallow.
Sometimes I thought I should have played more shallow. There are a couple balls that had dropped in there that I try and go in there and get, and I just thought, maybe I was squared it up the wrong way.
Better to keep the ball in front of you, though, than rather get past you
Extra
for
bases
a double or a triple.
when it goes past the outfield.
Right.
My one coach used to always say, an error in the infield costs a base, an error in the outfield costs runs.
That's accurate. Runner on third is Weber. Runner on second is Machulia. The runner on first is Baggett. 2 down. 1-2 count. And Gooden does not swing. Gooden flew out to right field his first time up. From the stretch. Fly ball hit down the line in left field, but it should go foul, and it does.
Rudy Ramirez crashing into the wall a bit there.
It was really tough to tell if that ball was going to end up in the bullpen or not.
Probably hoping he could pull a Spider-Man, hop over, catch it.
So 2 down, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
As we see, Lokinen is surrounded by Unicorns currently. 2-2 in the top of the second, 2 outs. Telling us something.
Full count with the bases loaded, no place to put him with 2 away. This one's popped up. It's going to get out of it. Shortstop and second baseman both call for it, but Will Coxon takes it, and the side is retired. So the Unicorns threaten, but do not score. A walk, a fielder's choice, and a single, but nothing across. We go to the bottom of the second. It's still 7-0.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester, or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
Bottom of the second inning here at Jimmy John's Field, and a 7-0 lead for the Beavers over the Unicorns. So it'll be Bolin, Hilbrich, and Ortega, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Still on the bump is Galatas for the Unicorns. So let's see if the Beavers pick up where they left off. This one is hit deep. Left fielder going back on it, and it's gone. So a solo home run for Malik Bolin. Give him a home run and a single today, and it's 8-0 for the Beavers. He got all of that. So Bolin now has 5 home runs. He is tied with Davis for the league lead. That brings up Hilbrich. He had a double, 2 RBIs, and a run scored in a productive first inning at bat for him. Oh and 1 on Hilbrich. That one is a fair ball down the third base line. Hilbrich turns the bag at first, and he'll have a stand-up double. So the Beavers continue to hit the ball hard. And this will bring up Ortega. He has a single and an RBI and a run scored. Ortega batting 148 coming into this one. Runner on second base is Hilbrich. This one's hit hard into left field. The left fielder watches it go. Oh my goodness. Christian Ortega with his first home run of the year. 2 RBIs. He has 3 RBIs in this game. And the assault is on. 10-0, Beavers on top. And there isn't much you can say about this. That one went 347 feet, got out of here at 99 miles an hour. So Stevenson, who walked and scored, hits a ground ball to third base. Nice play by the third baseman. Across in time, and there's one away. Weber made a nice play right at the bag. So that'll bring up Judd. Judd with a grand slam back in the first. This has just been an offensive explosion by the Beavers here tonight. Bases are empty right now. And there's a strike called. So Judd's first home run of the season. Moved his RBI total to 17. There's a hard ground ball to third. Diaz across the infield, and there's 2 away now, both 5-3. And that'll bring up Will Coxon, who walked. Did not score back in the first. Got as far as second base before the rally ended. You saw JJ, the field general, handling the bad boy duties. This one's popped up. Pastor should have an easy play here. And he does, and the side is retired, but not before. The Beavers add 3 more runs, 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors, nobody left. We go to the third inning. It's Beavers 10, Unicorns nothing. You're watching the USPBL Network.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Fifth Third Extra Time. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood.
And reset our life around zapping stuff and cheering for stuff with your friends. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
Third inning action here at Jimmy John Field. Dan York along with Kara Wolfbauer as the Unicorns try to get back into this one. They are trailing by a 10 spot here as we head into the third inning. Pastor, Aberrett, and Baker, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Unicorns, will bat here in the third.
Center fielder 22, Nick Pastor.
The key right here for Lucan is it's just to throw strikes. Misses with the first one. Fastball hits the outside a corner. One count on Pastor. There's that knuckle curve for a strike. Ground ball foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Pastor, who came into this one batting .301 and moved that up a tick with a single in the first inning. One of 2 hits that the Unicorns have in this one. This one is hit fouled on the third base line. That'll bounce over the screen and into the picnic area down the third base line. Glad you've joined us here on a Saturday night in Utica. Checked his swing. Appeal says he did not swing. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Nick Pastor, the center fielder for the Utica Unicorns. Outside corner. Pastor thought about it for a second, but it was way out of his reach. Fouled off, stays a full count. As they play Staying Alive on the PA here. Winnettskill, New York is where Pastor is from. He fouls that one off. Went to SUNY Brockport, State University of New York. Swing and a miss. Catcher throws down as the ball caught a little dirt. And there's 1 up and 1 away here in the third.
Catcher number 35, Felix Aberrett.
So Aberrett will bat, the catcher. The number 3 hitter for the Unicorns. Doesn't swing at that one. Top 3 here at Jimmy John's Field. Dan York along with Kara Wolfbauer, but she's headed out to the grandstand to take care of some different duties. You see a swing and a miss on that one as Aberrett tried to hold up. Kind of decided at the last minute to take a cut at that one. That one misses outside with the fastball. So 2 balls and a strike on Aberrett. Josh Baker on deck. Right down Main Street. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Center fielder Davis shaded towards left. That one's up high. Full count now. Everybody else pretty much where they belong. Foul tipped, but the catcher handles it, and there's 2 up and 2 away, both on strikeouts. Stevenson, no trouble handling that one. And that'll bring up Baker. He struck out his only time up in the first. 10 runs on 9 hits for the Beavers. There's a strike. Firm fastball right down the middle. Baker batting .250 coming into this one with 4 home runs. Inside out swing. This might be in no man's land, and it is. Will Coxon with a diving effort. So Baker with a single, and there's a runner on first base with 2 down. As you see, Will Coxon replacing his divots, collecting his belongings. Lost his hat, lost his glasses, and didn't come up with the baseball. Won't see a lot of substituting tonight, at least not offensively, because the Beavers only have 1 additional player, and the Unicorns only have 2. So what you see is what you'll have for most of this game, with the exception of probably a lot of pitching changes coming up. Excuse me, swing, ground ball to second base. Judd with a quick throw to first base, and the side is retired. So nothing but a hit, but it's our 5th third out of the game, brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, and our thanks to them. As we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, it is still 10-0 here at Jimmy John's Field, and there you see JJ the Water Boy, our field general, sponsored by Michigan First Credit Union, making sure the umpires are hydrated and ready to go. As JJ waits it out, let's send it down to Kara.
I'm here with Marshall. Marshall, wave to the crowd. This is my new friend Marshall, and he told me he has soccer coming up soon, so I said we're going to be training for soccer today. We're going to be running around these bases. Oh, he's still waving. Keep waving to Marshall. There we go. We got Buzz over there at second base. His dad's been training him for this moment for his entire life. So Marshall, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Okay, we're going to count him down, guys. In 3, 2, 1, go! And Marshall takes off. Buzz is off to a slow start, as usual, but I need to hear you guys cheer for him, because there we go. Marshall's dad was saying that if Marshall wins this race today, he'll finally let his son download the Pokemon Go app, and he's got a Pokemon hat on, so. All right, Marshall, some big high fives over here, buddy. Great job. Buzz, no high fives for you today. Let's get back to the game now and send it back up to the boys in the booth.
All right, thank you, Kara, and nice job by our youngster in the infield. So he gets Pokemon Go on his phone now, huh? So it'll be Davis, Ramirez, and Stubbs. 1, 2, and 3 for the Beavers. They have a commanding 10-0 lead here on a Saturday night in Utica, Michigan. Oh, this one is going to go foul, but deep. So Davis got all of that one just ahead of it. Davis with a double and a run scored and a walk. Both of those came in the first. So 1 ball and 1 strike on Davis. He came in batting .342 with 5 home runs, and he's second in the league with 21 RBIs, and that one's way outside. So 2 balls and a strike on Davis. Gladys still on the hill. Throws a fastball, ground ball third. Comes up on him a little bit, fires across the infield. Nice job by Weber. And there's 1 up and 1 away. That's the first time that the Unicorns have gotten the first batter out in this game. That'll bring up Ramirez. Ramirez with a single and a fly out to center field. Looks at one outside. Stubbs on deck. There's a strike. Outfield straight up. This one is fouled off. Little buzz from the crowd. Softball night here at Jimmy John's Field. Again, we had a big naval retirement ceremony before the game started. Those folks and their families still here. Mid-70s when this one started. You can't ask for anything better. Plunked him. So Ramirez will take his base. And that'll bring up Stubbs. So Ramirez, second time on. Stubbs is 0 for 2. He is the only member of the Beavers to not have reached base yet. Curveball missed. Gooden not holding the runner on. Check swing, but a called strike. One ball and one strike on Stubbs. Swing and a miss. Now it's plural, 2 strikes. Stubbs 4th in the league. This is a timeout called by the batter. 4th in the league in RBIs, and I believe number 1 in the league in walks with 19. 1 and 2. Swing and a miss. He strikes out. So that makes it 2 down, and it'll bring up Bolin. And Stubbs, 3 at-bats and has not made it on base yet. Bolin with a single and a big home run back in the second. Solo home run to lead off the second inning. This one's popped up. Catcher watches it go into the stands. So with that home run, Bolin has 5, which puts him on the top of the USPBL along with his playing mate Chris Davis. Fouled off right at the screen. I take that back. Bolin is tied with Davis, but Joe Burke now has 7 for the Diamond Hoppers. In the dirt, no advance by the runner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're in the third. Bottom of the third here at Jimmy John's Field. Just missed. I think Gladys wanted that one, but it was definitely out of the strike zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one just missed low. There goes the runner. Ground ball to the shortstop. Loses force at second, but makes the throw across the infield. And the first baseman, Gooden, able to stay on the bag to get the 3rd out of the inning. So no runs in the inning. Hit batter, one runner left on base. We'll be back with the 4th inning of action from Jimmy John's Field here on the USPBL Network.
They call me prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward, not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
So on Thursday, the Mammoths wore their Bad to the Bone jerseys, which fans can now bid on until noon on Saturday, August 12th. Now the auction link, you see it on your screen, is 32auctions.com/BTTB. That's 32auctions.com/BTTB. And 50% of the proceeds from the online auction will benefit the Michigan Special Olympics, our state's largest sports organization for people with intellectual disabilities. So hop on that and put your bid in on a jersey. That'll bring up Machulia at the top of the 4th. And he fouls that one off. He had a fielder's choice. Back in the 2nd. So he is 2 for 5 in his short USPBL career. And lofts this one into right field. The right fielder will have to work a little bit for that one as he comes in and makes the play. Hilbich gets the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Diaz. That one catches the inside corner. That one misses outside. One ball, one strike. This one is fouled off over the grandstand. Baggett on deck. Diaz struck out back in the 2nd. Davis shading towards right. Here's a ground ball to short. Wilcoxon boots it. So Diaz will be safe on the air. So a base runner for the Unicorns with one out. Baggett safe on a single back in the 2nd. 10-0 lead for the Beavers. That one just caught the outside corner. .84 miles an hour outside. Curiel on deck. Runner on first base is Diaz, safe on the error by the shortstop. Foul tip. 1-2. Luukkonen has gone the distance so far for the Beavers. We're in the 4th. And there is action in the Beavers bullpen. And there's a strike 3 called on Baggett. And that'll bring up Curiel. There you see the action in the bullpen. That is, I believe, number 9. For the Beavers. So that's Jake Armstrong, the right-hander from Bloomington, Illinois, warming up. Curiel fouls it off. Runner on first base is Diaz, 2 away. Top 4. Fouled off. Half swing by Curiel. No action for the Unicorns, so it looks like Gladys will be out for the bottom of the 4th as the batter, I believe, calls time. Curiel batting .227, flew out to center field, back in the 2nd. Marcus Judd and Will Coxon discussing who will cover the bag at second. This one's popped out of play. In the event they get a force play on Diaz. Foul tip. Catcher couldn't hang on to that one. So Curiel stays alive. From the stretch, Luukkonen. This one's hit into left field, but Ramirez goes back and makes the play. So Diaz makes it to first base on the air, but that's all for the Unicorns here in the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We will head to the bottom of the 4th inning. After this, you're watching the USPBL Network.
You dreamed of starting a company, not an HR department, but your business has grown fast, and so have the complexities of payroll and taxes, benefits administration, and other HR functions. That's why your business needs a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions. Tryon provides businesses of all sizes access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Some of the folks who have gathered on the right field berm here at Jimmy John's Field and have watched the Beavers jump out to a 10-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Jimmy John's Field. Gladys still on the bump for the Unicorns, and it's top of the order, so it's Gooden, Pastor, and check that, we're wrong team, Hilbridge, Ortega, and Stevenson for the Beavers. That one almost clipped Hilbridge in the shoe. 1-0. Fastball is hit into the outfield. Center fielder Pastor fades back in front of the warning track. And there's one up and one away. That had that good baseball sound and got a little bit of reaction from the crowd here, but just a routine fly ball for Pastor, and that'll bring up Christian Ortega. Ortega with a single and a home run. He has 3 RBIs in this game. As you see, JJ, the field general, handling the bat boy duties. Ortega came into this one batting 148, so he has improved that mark tonight. That one's down low. That one's a called strike. This one is ripped into the outfield. This might be extra bases. One hop up against the wall. Ortega turns the bag at first and will trot it into second base, and Christian Ortega is a triple away from the cycle. He has a single, a home run, and a double. And the light-hitting third baseman is 3 for 3 tonight. And that'll bring up Luke Stevenson, the catcher. He walked and scored in the first. So the Beavers put on their hitting shoes tonight. Outside. Curiel shaded toward second base. Gladys takes a look at his runner. Swing and a miss on an outside pitch. One ball, one strike. There's a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Stevenson. Stevenson came into the night batting 160. It's one foul. Way early on that one. Kind of a quiet crowd here tonight at Jimmy John's Field. 10-0 game might have a little to do with it. This one has popped up. A minute ago, foul in, out of play. Everybody in the stands hoping it might come back, but it bounces off the roof of the grandstand here at Jimmy John's Field. Here you see part of our crowd. We have a princess here. That one is a foul ball. Didn't know we had royalty here. Swing and a miss. So Stevenson strikes out, that makes it 2 down. And that'll bring up Marcus Judd. Marcus Judd with a grand slam in the first inning. He's 1 for 2. That one is fouled off. Eighth season for Jimmy John's Field. That one's ripped into the outfield for a base hit. Ortega turns the bag. He would have made it. The outfielder had trouble coming up with it. But Ortega stays at third base. Judd with a single. And that'll bring up Wilcoxon. Then with a walk in the first inning, flew out the center in the second. Yeah, Ortega had already committed to holding at third, and Diaz had a little trouble picking the ball up in the outfield. There's a strike, fastball. There's the action in the Unicorns bullpen. Mitchell warming up in the bullpen for the Unicorns. There's a curveball for a strike, and apparently I was looking in the wrong place. That's Jacob Mitchell, the infielder, warming up in the bullpen. I went to the pitchers and didn't see his number, and immediately told my director, Christian Gibbons, that I don't have him, but I do. He's just not a pitcher, as that one is on the outside. So we may see a position player come in, eat up some innings here today. That one gets away from the catcher. The runner's going to score. So Ortega will score on the wild pitch. Judd will move up to second base. And it's an 11-0 game now for the Beavers. So Gladys now responsible for 3 of the runs, or make that 4 of the runs that have scored here today. Off the fist, ground ball to the shortstop. This is a long throw, and it isn't handled by the first baseman. I think Wilcoxon might have been safe anyways. Baggett put it in the dirt. Gooden couldn't come up with it. So Judd goes to third. Wilcoxon safe on what I'm going to call a single until somebody tells me otherwise. And that'll bring up Chris Davis. Davis with a double and a walk. Grounded out to third his last time up in the third. That one's outside. So a rough day for the Unicorns. This one's hit hard through the hole at first base for a base hit. Judd will score. Wilcoxon will move to second. And an RBI single for Chris Davis.
Left fielder number 2.
And the route continues. 12-0. Ramirez will come to the plate. And I think we may get our position player. We are. So Gladys will leave. He gave the Beavers four and 2/3. All right, well, we'll sort this out right after we take this break. It is 12-0 here at Utica at Jimmy John's Field. You're watching the USPBL Network.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are operating engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester, or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
So Jacob Mitchell on the hill. Jacob is a position player who has pitched before. He has one appearance and 2/3 of an inning with a strikeout. He didn't allow anybody to reach base, so he'll come in and face Rudy Ramirez as Gladys pitches 4 1/3 innings. So far, he's responsible for 5 runs, but the other 2 runners on base are his responsibility should they score. Gladys put in a pretty bad situation. That one just missed. I believe Gladys with 5 runs on 12 hits, 1 walk. Again, he's responsible for the 2 runners on base. Two balls and a strike on Ramirez. Mitchell just missed. Working from the stretch. Swing and a miss. Full count on Ramirez. Runners on first and second. Jacob Mitchell on the mound. Swing and a miss. Mitchell at 90 miles an hour gets the strikeout to end the inning. So an impressive job by Jacob Mitchell. A 12-0 lead for the Beavers. This is the USPBL Network.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are operating engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, we've known each other our whole lives, and both tear the exact same things in this exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run.
My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much because you guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that know that there's a bright side at the end.
So a 12-0 lead for the Beavers. Lokinen has gone the distance. The Unicorns have used 2 pitchers and a position player so far. We head to the 5th inning For the Unicorns, it'll be Gooden, Pastor, and Aberrett, 1, 2, and 3, as the Unicorns try to get back into this one.
First baseman, number 8.
Only 4 hits given up by the Beavers. And Luukkonen. And it gets past the second baseman for a base hit. So apparently that E6 that I awarded back in the 4th has been called a single by the official score. There's 5 hits now.
22, Nick Pastor.
So that'll bring up Pastor, the center fielder. He has a single and a strikeout. That's fouled off. Runner on first base is good. That one is tipped into the catcher's mitt, Stevenson. Outside. From the stretch. Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Pastor. Aberrett on deck. Stubbs playing behind the runner at first base. Big gap between first and second. Off-speed pitch misses. Full count. Strike called.
That call, third strike, is brought to you by Sherwin-Williams.
That'll bring up Aberrett.
Catcher number 35, Felix Aberrett.
So 1 on, 1 out here in the 5th. Aberrett batting .361 with an OPS of .945. It's a ground ball to third. This could be a double play. Third to second to first. And the Beavers get out of the inning. So a 5-4-3 double play. A hit for the Unicorns, but that's it. 12-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. You're watching the USPBL Network.
How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier health care and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Fifth Third Bank. Yeah, it's a quirky name. But here's the thing. 5/3 equals 166.7%. So we put 166.7% into everything we do. Like automatically getting you your paycheck up to 2 days early. Giving you well-deserved extra time to avoid overdraft fees. And helping you borrow from your future self. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
Happy birthday, Chloe. We love you.
It is the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Beavers with a 12-0 lead. Broke it open here in the first inning. And it's been all Beavers after that. So Mitchell still on the hill for the Unicorns. He struck out Ramirez on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball to end the fourth inning. So it'll be Stubbs, Bolin, and Hilbrich. 3, 4, and 5. Stubbs has yet to reach base. He is the only member of the Beavers not to make it to first. And he swings and misses at that one at 87 miles an hour. Infield deep. That one's well outside. Mitchell shakes off the sign. Comes with a fastball outside. And Mitchell has missed badly on 3 pitches this at-bat. Just flying a little bit open on his delivery. Corrects it there, does make it across the plate, but low. So he'll walk Stubbs. And that'll bring up Bolin. Bolin with a single and a home run. 2 runs scored for Bolin. Tied his teammate Chris Davis with his 5th home run of the season back in the 2nd. So the runner on first base is Stubbs. And way outside again. No action in the Beaver bullpen. Jim Hessian's going to ride it out. There's an off-speed pitch. 1 ball and a strike. Fouled off. 1 and 2 on Bolin. Hilbrich on deck. Up high, fastball. Came in at 90 miles an hour, but a little trouble finding the plate this inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gooden still playing behind Stubbs. There's a ground ball to the third baseman. He can't handle it. Stubbs will stay at second. That should probably be a base hit for Bolin.
Right fielder, number 10, Ray.
So then I bring up Hilbrich with 2 doubles, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. From the stretch, Mitchell misses outside. Up high. Nobody out. Runners on first and second. This is outside. Mitchell is not giving in. There's a strike. 3 balls and a strike. Ball 4. A little high with that one, so the bases are juiced for Christian Ortega. Deja vu Ortega.
26, Christian Ortega.
With a single in the first, a home run in the second, a double in the third, 3 runs scored. If my count is right, 6 RBIs, and he needs a triple for the cycle. Ortega with an RBI in the first, 2 RBIs with his home run in the second, and 3 RBIs with his triple in the fourth. So Ortega, having a monster day at the plate, takes a strike. Three home runs for the Beavers as that one is fouled off. "20 seconds in between pitches for the pitcher when there are runners on base. 15 with no runners on base. Check swing there by Ortega. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bases loaded for the third baseman. That one gets away from the catcher, but no advancement by the runners. Still no action in the Beaver bullpen. Runner on first is Hillbridge. On second is Bolin. On third is Stubbs. Checked his swing. Apparently held up. Full count. Nowhere to put him. A lot of pressure on Mitchell. This one is fisted into the outfield. That's a fair ball. Ground rule double. So Ortega with 2 more RBIs, thank you. That will score Stubbs. That will score Bolin. Hillbridge will advance to third.
Number 12, Luke Stevenson.
That is 8 RBIs for Christian Ortega tonight. And that's going to bring about a trip to the mound. It's funny, everybody's got their glove up to their mouth, covering their mouth, with the exception of the pitcher and the coach. Might be a little bit of an excuse to have a conversation with our home plate umpire. This might have been A, to give him a break, A, to give the pitcher Mitchell a break, and B, to get a word in with the umpire. There is some early action now in the Unicorns bullpen. Can't make out the number through all the netting and everything else, but so that'll bring up Stevenson. And there's a strike right down the middle. So Jace Bowman warming up for the Unicorns. There's a swing and a miss. batter calls timeout. That one's up high. Stevenson batting 160 prior to this one. Mitchell misses outside. (14-0), the Beavers on top. One's fouled off. Right behind home plate on the screen. You could hear from our effects mic. It's outside. Nice job by the catcher, Aberrett, to keep the runner from scoring from third base. So 3 balls and 2 strikes on Stevenson. Judd on deck. That one gets past the catcher. No advance. So Stevens walks. We have bases loaded with 2 out for Marcus Judd. Marcus Judd with a grand slam back in the first inning. A single and a run scored in the 4th. And this is going to necessitate a pitching change now for the Unicorns as Jim Essian heads to the mound. So this should be Jace Bowman coming into pitch for Utica. We'll take a break. We'll tell you about the pitching change when we come back right after this on the USPBL Network.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
There you see some of our softball players in attendance here tonight on softball night here at Jimmy John's Field. And they're being treated to some serious offense as a 14-0 lead for the Beavers, and they'll go to the bullpen again. They'll go to they'll go to Bowman, which they don't really didn't want to do. Jace Bowman with a 5.40 ERA in 16 appearances. He has 5 saves, 17 strikeouts in 21 2/3 innings. So he'll try to get control of this with nobody out here in the 5th inning. And Marcus Judd, who already has a grand slam, who swings and misses at that one. Bowman's 5 saves lead the USPBL. Bowman did not pitch last night in the 11-5 loss to the Woolly Mammoths. Runner on first base is Stevenson. Second base is Ortega. Third base is Hillbridge. Outside. A long night for Aberrett, the catcher. He's been back there for 14 runs and some tough pitching. Bowman snaps off the curveball, gets the strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Judd. Wilcoxon on deck. Nobody out. We are in the 5th. There's a broken bat. Flip over to second base. They got nobody. The run scored. Another RBI for Judd on a broken bat single. It's 15-0 now. Now let's take a look at the standings. As you see, the Beavers, who are 14-18, in last place in this four-team division, putting the hurt on the Unicorns, who are in third place and still will be, even after this loss tonight. But the Unicorns, who have struggled to hit this season, tonight have struggled to pitch. That one's down low. So Ortega moves over to third. Stevenson moves up to second. Judd is the runner at first base. He now has 5 RBIs, 2 singles and a home run. This one's off the fist for a base hit. It's going to score at least one, as the Beavers have gone to station. So the single scores a run. Ortega comes in. Stevenson moves to third. Judd moves to second. Wilcoxon is on first, and it'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Chris Davis. Davis with a double and a single tonight, 1 RBI. There's a ground ball to second base. He doesn't handle it. Throw to first in time. So Curiel with a little trouble, probably thinking double play, instead settled for the single out at first base. That is the first out of the inning, kids. Stevenson scores. Judd goes to third. Wilcoxon goes to second. We have runners on second and third and 1 out. And Rudy Ramirez. There's a high chopper. This one's not going to be easy. And Baggett can't handle it. 1 run will score. That is Judd. Wilcoxon's on third. Ramirez is on first. And my scorecard is a disaster, as the Beavers bat around for the second time in this game. And anyone that's ever kept score themselves knows how painful it is when a team bats around once, much less second, to your scorecard. So this is Stubbs. He has a walk and a run scored. He walked to lead off this inning. And he looks at his strike. So every one of the Beavers has reached base. Bolin has scored 3 times. Hilbert just scored 3 times. Ortega scored 4 times. Judd has scored 3 times. Inside out swing. Diaz in left field makes the play. The runners hold with the big lead. That'll bring up Malik Bolin. Bolin with a single, or 2 singles and a home run. $18-0. Ouch. Still only counts as 1 loss. And there's a strike called. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. There's a swing and a miss. Pitch moving away from Bolin. From the stretch, off the catcher's mitt for the walk. Oh, check that. That was a strikeout. So Bolin is out 2-3 on the strikeout. So lots of runs that inning as well as the other ones. It is 18-0 as we head to the 6th. You're watching the USPBL Network.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
So Jake Armstrong comes into the game now to pitch for the Beavers after Luukkonen gave the Beavers 5 innings of shutout baseball.
Welcome, Phoenix Innovate.
Only 4 hits, 5 hits officially that Luukkonen gave up. Armstrong comes in with a 1.17 ERA, a 1-loss record of 1-1, 24 strikeouts in 30 2/3 innings pitched, and only 8 walks in those 30 2/3 innings pitched. So Armstrong will try to shut the Unicorns down the rest of the way with a big lead. 18-0. Unicorns on top, or the Beavers on top. Unicorns batting. Baker, Weber, and Machulia 4, 5, and 6. Baker with a single in this one. Left-handed designated hitter. He bends away from a ball. Tough night for the pitchers on the Unicorns. Harvin was in trouble to start. Gladys eventually wore down. Mitchell, the position player, only actually officially got a 1/3 of an inning. There's a ground ball to the first baseman. And he'll take the easy out at first base. 1 up and 1 away.
The third baseman, number 13, Jared Weber.
So that'll bring up Weber. Weber with a walk and a ground out. So 0 for 1 officially. There's a called strike. Weber batting .241 this season for the Unicorns. This one's hit pretty good into the outfield. Gets past the outfielder Ramirez. Weber trots into second base with a ground rule double as it scoots over the fence. So a ground rule double for Weber. And a runner in scoring position now for the Unicorns for Machula. Safe on a fielder's choice in the second and flew out to right field in the fourth. The Unicorns score sheet much cleaner than the Beavers. Misses on the outside corner. Swing and a miss. Off speed at 77 miles an hour. Another swing and a miss, 1-2. Ground ball, tough play, big hop. This is going to be a base hit. So Weber will move to third base. Machula with a single. Nothing Judd could do about it. And that'll bring up Angel Diaz. Don't forget, we'll be here again tomorrow as the Unicorns will take on the Diamond Hoppers. 105 game here at Jimmy John's Field. So the Unicorns get to put this one out of their mind quickly and play again tomorrow. They say there is no momentum in baseball, not even from inning to inning. So the Corns could easily come out and hang a 10 spot tomorrow. $18-0 game. Fouled off. Can't even make football analogies. You see the strikeout, because 18 is pretty hard to get in football. You have to be like 2 touchdowns with 2 extra two-point conversions and a safety. Popped up, foul, out of play. Weber at third. Machula at first. Angel Diaz, the batter. He was safe in the fourth, something I recorded as an error that may have been recorded as a hit. From the stretch, Armstrong comes to the plate. This one is lofted into the outfield. Hilbrich racing in, makes the play, no tag at third base. So there's 2 away. That'll bring up Baggett. Baggett with the single and struck out looking back in the fourth. 18-0 ball game. There you see Armstrong has thrown 15 pitches since he's come in. Pitcher will step off. That'll count as a disengagement. Way outside. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday next weekend. Fastball for a strike. And as we approach the end of the season, there'll be a couple of Wednesday public games thrown in there too. So make sure you check out uspbl.com and follow the schedule for the rest of the year and make your way out. Maybe make it out for the championship game in September. Softball night, one of the many theme nights they offer here at Jimmy John's Field. Fireworks on Fridays. Tomorrow is Superhero Day. But surprisingly, they didn't invite me. That one's fouled off. And my cape is in the dry cleaner, right, exactly. Baggett is the batter. 2 out. Runners on first and third. Just missed on the outside corner. Armstrong in relief of Luukkonen. Ground ball to first. Stays on the ground for Stubbs. He'll take the easy out, and the side is retired. So the Unicorns get a couple of runners on, but they do not score. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 18-0 here at Jimmy John's Field. You're watching the USPBL Network.
There are things you can rely on in this world, like your dog being happy to see you, coffee getting you through the day, and the government changing business regulations. And when it comes to navigating those regulations, you can rely on Tryon and its team of attorneys. Tryon can also tackle time-consuming HR tasks like payroll and employee benefits, so you can stay focused on growing your business. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Back at Jimmy John's Field on a Saturday night here in southeastern Michigan, 18-0 lead. For the Beavers, it'll be Hilbrich, Ortega, and Stevenson 5, 6, and 7. Batting for Birmingham Bloomfield here in the 6th inning. Tough night for the Unicorns. And here's the pitch. This is outside. Bowman still out there for the Unicorns as that one is fouled off. From the windup, almost hit him. So at this point, it's just a matter of of game management. John Dombrowski of the Beavers is not going to tell his guys to give up any at-bats, but they definitely won't be taking any extra bases or advancing. It'll just be a base at a time. You don't want guys to cut into their average or their stats. But you also don't want to add on to this any more than necessary. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And again, for the Unicorns, they get to go at it tomorrow, so they can put this one behind them really quick. Popped up, fisted, tough play. Second baseman Curiel gets out there to make the play, and there's 1 up and 1 away. That'll bring up Christian Ortega, and I have him, as I said before, for 8 RBIs in this game. Single and an RBI in the first, a home run and 2 RBIs in the second, a base clearing double in the fourth, and 2 RBIs on a double in the fifth. So 8 RBIs for Christian Ortega. So I think he is clearly the player of the game for the Beavers. Looks at a strike. Again, Ortega came in batting 148. In only 27 at-bats. So these 4 hits will help his average considerably. This one is hit into right center field. Center fielder and the right fielder converge on it. Machula, number 9, makes the catch out in right field. And there's 2 up and 2 away. And this could be the first 1, 2, 3 inning of the game for the Beavers. And the announcer jinx kicks in. Popped up. This might do it. Catcher, first baseman, pitcher, everybody there. The first baseman, Gooden, puts it away, and the side is retired. So nothing across for the Beavers. How about that? 18-0 on the USPBL network.
Sponsor of the USPBL.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Esposito into the game now. Michael Esposito into pitch now for the Beavers. Esposito with a 1.32 ERA and only 13 2/3 innings pitched. He has 31 strikeouts though in those 13 innings. So that is a very impressive stat for Esposito. That's over 2 strikeouts an inning, so we'll see how he does here with that 18-0 lead for the Beavers. For the Corns, it'll be Curiel, Gooden, and Pastor, 9-1 and 2 for the Unicorns, as they're just trying to scratch a run home in this one.
Leading off the top of the inning for the Unicorns, second baseman number 2, Donovan Curiel.
Armstrong gives them 2 innings, the Beavers. Here's the pitch, fouled off. 93 on the video board, 95 officially. Misses outside, 95 again. Fouled off as hitter's not able to get around on Esposito. One ball and 2 strikes on Curiel. It's a ground ball to short, not an easy play, and Will Coxon will have to hold on to it. That'll be a base hit for Curiel. Will Coxon went deep in the hole, couldn't make the play. Even if he comes up with it, it's unlikely he turns around and gets the speedy Curiel. So that brings up Gooden. Gooden with a single in this one, and a swing and a miss. Runner on first base is Curiel. That one is fouled off. Gooden is 1 for 3 today. That one misses outside. Pastor on deck. From the stretch. Fouled off. So far, nobody getting around on Esposito. Stubbs playing behind the bag. It's a ground ball to second base. Second baseman Judd takes a look at the runner, but takes the guaranteed out at first base. Curiel will move to second base. So Gooden is out 4-3, and that'll bring up Nick Pastor. Pastor struck out twice and had a single back in the first inning. So honestly, Esposito, when I saw those stats, I was kind of looking forward, as you see him blow one past him there. I was looking forward to 3 strikeouts this inning to see how he could do. But a little bit of contact off of Esposito after nobody could get around to start the inning. Way inside, 95 miles an hour. I don't think I'd want to get hit by a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Pastor batting .301 coming into this one with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. Right down the middle for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Aberrett on deck. Runner on second base is Curiel. Fouled off. $18 runs on 16 hits, 1 error for the Beavers. 0-8 and 2 for the Unicorns. This one's fouled off down the third base line. Outfield in their standard positions, as you can see. Infield back with one out. Double play not in order with a runner on second base. Missed on the outside corner. Action in the Beavers bullpen. Nick Bonk, did you see that one outside? Bonk warming up. Full count on Pastor. Weak ground ball to first base. Stubbs will take the out unassisted. Curiel will move to third base. There's two away, and Aberrett is the batter. The big hitting catcher comes in hitting .361. Nope, we've got a pinch hit. Bisharat will bat for Aberrett. One of the few moves, actually the only move left that the Unicorns could make, because Mitchell came in to pitch. So Bisharat will replace Aberrett. And unless they apply the Ohtani rule, I guess Mitchell's out of the game. I don't know. Swing and a miss by Bisharat. Bisharat batting .176 coming into this one. He will stay in the game and catch. Brush back there. 1-2. So Aberrett finishes the game 0 for 3 for the Unicorns. And when it gets past the catcher, the runner's going to score. And a cheer from this crowd as the Unicorns get on the scoreboard on the wild pitch. So I don't know if that was a Bronx cheer from the crowd or some Unicorn fans were waiting to see something happen, but the Unicorns are on the board. Curiel with the single and scores on the wild pitch. This one's popped up. And for the Beavers, it's one pitch too late. So Bisharat fouls out to the first baseman. And the Unicorns pick up their first run of the game, 18-1. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. And take me out to the ball game.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
Bowman still on the hill for the Unicorns. They're on the board though now. 18-1 is our score. It'll be Judd, Wilcoxon, and Davis. Crump, the only batter on the bench for the Beavers. So we'll see if he pinch hits, but short of that. Judd, who has a grand slam in the first, a single and a run scored in the fourth, and a single and a run scored in the fifth, batting now in the seventh inning with a 17-run lead. Judd listed as 5'5". It's a slow ground ball to third. Across the infield in time, and there's one up and one away. That'll bring up Wilcoxon. The shortstop with 2 hits and a walk. He has yet to score. That's an anomaly in this game. He's made it to second twice and third base once, but Wilcoxon has not scored. Luukkonen started for the Beavers. He got 5 innings in. There's a ground ball up the middle. Shortstop Baggett across the infield in time, and there's 2 up and 2 away. The Beavers went down 1-2-3 in the 6th inning, which was the first time they had done it in the game. That'll bring up Davis. Davis with a double, a walk, a single. 1 RBI only for Davis on this 18-run day. Breaking ball on the inside that misses. From the windup, hits the outside corner. Great night tonight at Jimmy John's Field with softball night, as that one is fouled off, and the retirement of several members of the U.S. Navy here tonight. Again, thrilled to have everyone here in attendance that's here, but especially our retired sailors. From the windup. Somebody's going to call timeout, right? Nope. Missed on the inside. Bowman used up every bit of his pitching clock. This one's hit into the outfield in the gap. It should get down. It will. Davis around first into second base, and he'll trot in with a stand-up double. So Davis with his second double of the night. He is 3 for 4, and that'll bring up Ramirez. So Chris Davis does nothing to hurt his batting average tonight. Came in batting .342, and it only got better here this evening. Ramirez with a single and a run scored. Line shot into the outfield for a base hit. This should score Davis unless they hold him. They'll hold him. So Ramirez with a single.
First baseman, number 23, J.D. Stubbs.
Davis gets to third. That'll bring up Stubbs. Stubbs with a walk and a run scored back in the 5th. He has 17 RBIs, which is good enough for 4th in the USPBL. There's a strike. It'll be Baker, Weber, and Machula in the 8th, which may be our last inning as the time limit kicks in. That's up high. And honestly, I'm guessing both managers would welcome that here tonight. He had a deep bench and wanted to get some guys some playing time, but neither team has a deep bench. Fouled off. Crump, the only player that has not made it into the game that is not a pitcher for either team. Popped up. This is foul, but the third baseman might have a shot. Weber near the fence, can't handle it. He just kind of ran out of room. So Stubbs with new life. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Way outside. Comes in at 85 miles an hour. Pitcher will step off but not use one of his disengagements. There's one hit into the outfield that will drop for a base hit and score another run. So Davis will score. Stubbs with an RBI single. And it's back to an 18-run cushion, 19-1. So Stubbs with a line shot single, his first hit of the night, and that'll bring up Malik Bolin. Bolin with a home run and 2 singles. RBI, 3 runs scored. 19-1 is our score. There's a line shot right at the shortstop Baggett. He'll put it away, and the side is retired. So 1 run for the Beavers in the inning on 3 hits. There were no errors. There was 2 runners left on base. We head to the 8th inning. Our score 19-1. You're watching the USPBL Network.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Top of the 8th inning here at Jimmy John's Field, and short of a gigantic comeback by the Unicorns, this will be it after the Unicorns bat. Here in the top of the 8th inning with a 19-1 lead for the Beavers. Nick Bonk now will take to the bump for the Beavers. Bonk with a 3.97 ERA, 11 1/3 innings pitched, and 12 strikeouts, 12 hits in those 11 1/3 innings, and only 3 walks allowed. So Bonk will get the opportunity to close this out. It'll be Baker, Weber, and Machula. 4, 5, and 6 for Utica as they trail 19-1. This game came off the rails in the first inning with 7 innings. And that's all the Beavers needed. Utica didn't score until the 7th inning. So Baker, who is 1 for 3. There's a line shot into the outfield, base hit. So Baker with 2 hits in this one. And that'll bring up Weber.
Third baseman number 13, Jared Weber.
I believe that gives Utica double digits in hits. Not sure if it's 9 or 10. Weber the batter. He looks at a strike on the outside corner. Weber with a double in the 6th. Runner on first base is Baker. That one just missed. Ground ball, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Weber. Machula on deck. Bonk in to pitch the 8th for the Beavers. Looping liner into the outfield. That'll be handled by Pastor. So there's 1 out with a runner on first base, and that'll bring up Machula. He has a single today. Safe on a fielder's choice in the 2nd. So his start as a member of the USPBL, he's 3 for 6. Check that, 3 for 7. There's 1 outside. So a nice start for Machula, the Louisiana Tech graduate. Outside. Throwing hard, but outside. Been kind of quiet at Jimmy John's Field all night. This one got lopsided early. There's a swing and a miss. Berm pretty much emptied out. Our Chevy Pavilion is just about empty. It's fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 out, that'll bring up Diaz.
The left fielder, number 20, Angel Diaz.
So Diaz is 0 for 3. Looks at 1 outside. Fouled off over the netting. Might have left the ballpark. Tonight you may have got as many foul balls in the road outside the stadium as in the stadium. 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Again, don't forget, tomorrow it's Superhero Day as the Diamond Hoppers take on the Unicorns 105 here at Jimmy John's Field. But of course, you can watch the live stream tomorrow as well. This one's in the gap. That's going to drop in for a base hit. And it'll be a head-first slide for a double for Diaz. So Diaz gets his first hit of the day. That'll bring up Baggett. So now officially the Unicorns have double digits in hits.
Number 3, Patrick.
So Baker will move over to third base. And Baggett will bat. A mound visit charged to the Beavers. Zabarette went out to talk to Bonk. So runners on second and third. 2 down, top of the 8th. This will be the final inning as we've exceeded our time limit under USPBL rules. There's a ground ball to short. It's not an easy play, and the shortstop bobbles it. So Will Coxon looking for the third out. As we've got fireworks going on somewhere nearby. Some places have post-game fireworks. We have in-game fireworks. So Curiel, the batter. There's a ground ball to short and a chance for Will Coxon to make up for it. Throw across the infield, doesn't get him, pulls the runner off the bag, another run scores. So the Unicorns are not dead yet. They've scored 2 runs this inning. And that'll bring up Gooden, the leadoff hitter. So it's now 19-3. The Beavers 1 out away from securing a victory, but Utica not done yet. There's a strike on the outside corner. Bonk from the stretch. That one gets past the catcher. Runners will advance. Baggett to third, Curiel to second. This is one of those things that happens in baseball, even with a giant lead. The last out is tough to come by sometimes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Gooden. He strikes out. He'll be tagged out by the catcher. And it's a big win. 19-3. Carroll will be downstairs with our player of the game in just a moment. But big night for the Beavers. Tough night for the Unicorns. Ortega with 8 RBIs with a single, a home run, a double, another double, 4 runs scored, 8 RBIs. Marcus Judd with a grand slam. He scored 3 runs. Had 2 singles to go along with his grand slam. A home run for Marcus Bolin. He had an RBI, 3 runs scored, and 2 singles. A couple of doubles and 3 runs scored for Hilbrich. Stevenson with a couple of walks and a couple of runs scored. So a big, big night for the Beavers. Luukkonen will take the win. Harvin, who had trouble in the first inning, only goes a third of an inning. Surrenders 7 runs on 5 hits. So he is hung with the loss. Gladys pitched 4 1/3 for the Unicorns. Mitchell came in along with Bowman. Armstrong, Esposito, and Bond also pitching for the Beavers. So they'll set up for Kids Run the Bases here at Jimmy John's Field, a staple after every game. And Kara Wolfbauer down on the field is going to talk with our player of the game in just a couple of minutes. It looks like that might be Christian Ortega. For the Beavers, 19 runs, 19 hits, 1 error. For Utica, 3 runs, 12 hits, and 2 errors. So just a big night for the Beavers all around. And a tough night for the Unicorns. The Unicorns will be able to bounce back tomorrow and try to put this one behind them. They'll take on the East Side Diamond Hoppers. That is a 105 game. Let's check in now with Kara on the field.
Ortega, our Detroit News player of the game. So those of you still out here with us, give him one big round of applause. Yes, there we go. He went 4 for 5 tonight, 2 doubles, massive home run, 5 RBIs. I asked him, are you comfortable doing an interview? I'd love to have you out here. So he's joined by me right now. So what we'd like to talk about today is you faced off against Tristan Harvin, who's been one of the better pitchers in the league, and you guys put up some numbers up against him tonight. So what were you guys preparing for, and you specifically preparing for to be so effective?
I mean, past couple of games have been rough. You know, we struggled a little bit here and there, but you know, just got to stick to basics. That's all it was sticking to the basics and get back to scoring runs and winning the game.
Well, you guys did a fantastic job tonight, especially you guys broke 3 records for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. So we have 3 records in the book tonight. You guys are now second in runs with 19, shattering a record from 2017 for all you Beavers over here cheering. You guys are tied for home runs with 3, which you contributed to as well. And you also are second in hits now with 19. So breaking some Beavers history, and this is the confidence you guys need under your belt to continue on.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, next week's a big week for us. We just got to keep it moving from there, you know? This is a moving forward game, I'd say, and yeah, that's what we'll do.
So moving forward, exactly. So congratulations on a fantastic game. Beavers are currently in last place. We're hoping to see you guys move up the ranks after this game tonight. So thank you so much for the interview and have a great night, Chris.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah, so once again, that's our player of the game, Detroit News player of the game. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight here at Jimmy John's Field. We have one more game tomorrow. And for those on the broadcast, thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, Christian Ortega, Detroit News player of the game. We'll send it back up to the boys in the booth, and we'll see you next time at Jimmy John's Field.
All right, thanks, Kara. We want to thank our crew for bringing you this one tonight. Kellen and David on the cameras, Christian Gibbons, our director, and my thanks to Kara Wolfbauer for being here with me when she could, along with Shane here tonight. So big, big night for the Beavers. 19 runs on 19 hits for the Beavers. A 19-3 win over Utica. Utica will be back at it again against Eastside tomorrow. Game time is 1:05 here at Jimmy John's Field. Thanks for watching. I'm Dan York. Good night, everybody.